Hi, this is Tom Kovic on behalf of Premier Gymnastics Academy, and I'm here today with Snapshot Video 1 in a series of 6 snapshot videos that I will be providing the group over the course of the next several months. Today we will discuss what I consider 4 important chapters in the recruiting process that include today's college culture, the NCAA Eligibility Center, campus visits, and contacts and evaluations. I always like to start my presentations with this quote, and I believe it in my heart that these are truly 4 of the most important years in the lives of our children. And sure, it's going to provide them hopefully with a great 4-year athletic experience, but more importantly, it's going to provide them with an academic foundation that will give them personal and professional direction for the rest of their lives. Today's athletic culture is much different than it was 20 years ago. College coaches are expected to achieve 2 goals in the eyes of their athletic directors. They're expected to win, and they're expected to raise money, and lots of it. Personally, any college coach that's not in the coaching game to win shouldn't be coaching. I think it's important, though, that the manner in which they define winning is important. As a college coach at the University of Pennsylvania, my definition of winning was expecting the coaching staff and the athletes to be at their best as often as they possibly could. Winning championships would hopefully be an end result. In addition, they're expected to fundraise and therefore cultivate strong relationships with their alumni in order to have them appreciate a growing program and for them to feel a personal obligation to fund the program moving forward. Therefore, recruitment becomes the tool that college coaches use in order to reach these ends and these goals. The NCAA Eligibility Center is an organization that collaborates with the NCAA to determine incoming college freshman eligibility. It's purely academic. The Eligibility Center is not part of the NCAA, but they work together. And therefore, any prospect who's interested in being part of a Division I or a Division II program must register with the Eligibility Center. It's a 2-step process. Step 1 is online registration. There's a $90 registration fee. It's a one-time fee. If you Google NCAA Eligibility Center, it'll take you right to the site, and it'll walk you right through the process of registration. They'll be asking questions with regard to contact information of the prospect. They'll be asking questions with regard to amateurism. And the prospect can always go back and complete questions that weren't answered on the first try. A good time to begin the first part of registration, I suggest, after the sophomore year and just prior to the summer. That way you can get to the guidance counselor and let the guidance counselor at the high school know that you're planning to complete the first part of registration. The guidance counselor is important because they're going to be taking care of step 2 in the eligibility process. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to take the student athlete's core grades and core courses and standardized test results and forward that information on to the Eligibility Center. So basically there's 2 factors that determine eligibility: core course grade point average, standardized testing. I can almost guarantee you that our boys and girls will meet and exceed the requirements. Just to give you an example of someone who needs to meet the bottom end of eligibility would be a student who presents a 2.3 grade point average, that's C, with a corresponding 1,080 SAT score aggregate. So therefore, it's important to understand that any of our boys and girls that are interested in being part of a Division I or Division II college athletics program must register with the clearinghouse, the eligibility center, and it's a two-step process. Register first online, meet with the guidance counselor, and let him or her know that you are planning to compete as part of a Division I or II program and that you need their assistance in completing registration. Campus visits, I think, is a really important part of this recruiting process, and I think it's important to understand the difference between the unofficial visit and the official visit. The official visit is one that's basically paid by a college or university. Prospects are permitted to take a total of 5 official visits with no more than 1 to any particular institution. They can begin making official visits now starting September 1st in the junior year of high school. It's permission-based, so the prospect will need to have started the registration process with the NCAA Eligibility Center. Official visits. The unofficial visit, on the other hand, and the one that's becoming more popular now, is basically a visit that is paid by the family. Can be taken virtually at any time and well before September 1st of the junior year. The family can take an unlimited number of unofficial visits to colleges and universities, and can take multiple visits to the same institution. And I know a lot of you have heard about the verbal offers for athletic scholarships that college coaches are making with prospects and prospects back. I really believe that whether it's the official visit or the unofficial visit, visit is the operative. It gives our kids a chance to take a look under the hood, get a vision of what that institution looks like, take the tour, take the information session. But if you have the opportunity to meet with coach, even watch a practice, spend time with coach face to face, and what you're doing basically is planting the seed for a relationship that hopefully will grow in the right direction. Contacts and evaluations. Basically, contacts and evaluations are the way that college coaches and prospects get to know each other. Okay? College coaches are basically bound by very strict rules, contact rules, where they're not permitted to engage prospects until as early as the beginning of the junior year in high school. That being said, it's important to understand that prospects and families, club coaches, high school coaches are permitted to engage and contact college coaches much earlier. Okay? So if you look at the definition of a prospective student athlete in the NCAA manual, it is one who starts classes for the 9th grade. So my thought is begin to get your ducks in a row as far as the recruiting process is concerned. Put together your player profile, put together a college list, put together an introduction email out to the college coaches that you could possibly send beginning in the early part of the sophomore year in high school. But remember that when it comes to contacts, these are tools that you can use in your arsenal of recruiting, and where the college coach's hands are tied when it comes to contact, whether it's phone contact, texting, email contact, you as a family, you as a prospective student athlete can be proactive in engaging the college coaches earlier on. Evaluations, on the other hand, are basically the tools that college coaches use to get to know you and your children. Okay? They can evaluate on several levels. Okay? But basically they're looking at academic evaluation. They want to make sure that they're meeting the eligibility standards for the NCAA. Athletic standards as well. They want to make sure that the athlete is strong and potentially impactful with regard to that college gymnastics program. Okay? And they'll also be evaluating the personality. College coaches are looking for strong students, impact athletes, and boys and girls that bring a strong character component to the table. They're looking for good personalities that are going to be strong links in the team chain that will help advance that program on the inside. Okay? So college coaches can evaluate with your assistants as well. Okay? College coaches can get out to competitions, whether it's the state meet, the regional meet, or the JO National Championships. But in the meantime, it would be much easier for your children to provide the college coaches with updates, and they can provide video highlights. So when you're talking about video highlights during the season, competitions, no more than 5 minutes. 2 vaults, 1 bar routine, 1 beam routine, 1 floor routine. Okay. During the summer, when you're doing your skill training, you can provide the coaches with highlight video that should be no longer than really a minute and a half. Skills that you are planning to compete in the next season. Okay. So whether it's contacts and evaluations, using these tools in order to advance the process is only going to help you. Thanks very much for Snapshot 1, and we'll see you soon.